episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
I'm Mike Delisio. Welcome.
And we're glad to have you with us on Crowdsurfing, a show where we take a look at crowd-funded projects on GameFound and Kickstarter. GameFound, of course, is still putting out a few projects at a time, but as time gets by, I'm sure we'll have them, well, maybe they'll be half the show at some point. Who knows? But we're taking a look at Kickstarter projects. We give you our guesses as to what we think of them based on the project page and any other information that we might know, and then we'll pick our favorites of the week at the end if we have one. We'll also let you pick one, so stay tuned. We're going to let you vote on your favorite today near the end of the episode. So, let's get fat and start off with cakes.
Woo!
Well, you know,
This
cakes...
is a little kids game.
Oh, yes. Before we do cakes, as I've been reminded, we have a contest we're running.
Ooh.
So the
Is it a
contest...
Cake?
It's not a cake. It's actually a game. You can win 2 copies of the Hero Pledge of Meeples and Monsters. Meeples and Monsters, which I think we'll be talking about in an upcoming show when it ends. But it's a game on Kickstarter right now from AEG. It is a bag building game where you throw meeples into a bag. Ole Steinus is a designer. He has designed one of my favorite games, Champions of Midgard, Police Precinct, a lot of fun. And you're using your meeple heroes to defend the town from monsters like woodpeckers and beavers and things like that. Well, those are monsters to meeples. You know, I
guess because they're made of wood. Is that what you're getting at?
That makes sense.
If you had played more Wingspan, Mike. Anyhow,
No meeples and Wingspan. Okay.
To enter this copy, to get a copy of this, or to win a pledge of this, this is for people in the U.S., and you need to email us at contest@dicetower.com. Subject line, put MM21. That stands for Meeples and Monsters 2021. But MM21. And in the body, answer the question, how many tiles are in the included 4 Towers expansion? I don't even know the answer to that. I guess I should go look more at the page. So in the 4 Towers expansion, how many tiles are included in that? And also put your address in case you win. We'll alert you if you win. We'll also post the winners on dicetower.com/contests. All right. Now can I talk about cakes?
Let's get into this cake action, Tom. Let's do some cakes.
I will check to see if I am using the wrong microphone.
Microphone check. Check.
Is my microphone sounding better?
Oh,
yeah, baby.
I knew.
I didn't know what I was missing till you told me about the frosting.
Wow, look at those golden dulcet tones that we now have.
Dulcet.
Now that the live's over and I'm finally doing everything correctly, can I please talk about cake?
No, it's time to move on, Tom. We've talked enough about
eat your
this problem.
salad.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, this is a game with round cards. I'm getting a little tired of round cards because
is
These
this
are like
not,
round plates, though, right?
But is this not? I mean, is this not Rhino Hero? But you're holding it on your hand. Is that not really what we got going on here?
Oh, right. The cards aren't round. You're right. The plates are round.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Rhino Hero super pastry, basically.
Yeah, but you got to hold it on your hand. That's a different thing.
Yeah. It's a game for little kids, again. I mean, that's kind of what they're going for. It does look nice. I like the look of the plates, and I like the bent cards, the cake print. It's for ages 5 and up. It seems extremely simple. I guess that's the idea. And you can play on the table. I saw them play. You can play on the table,
For
or if you want to
kids.
make it a little harder, then you can hold it. That's cute. I like the idea of having to hold it and stacking with the other hand. That's a nice twist.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, it's cute.
I don't know. That actually takes a lot of people out of the... I mean, if you have to hold it in your hand, I guess you don't have to. But if you play the holding your hand, that's going to definitely take some people out. Some people
no, I agree.
shaky hands, but when you're holding it and stacking, it's a much different thing. But you're right. I definitely like the look of it, especially down here with those cake slices. They look great.
They do.
Yeah.
And I like that they replaced the bell card with an actual bell so that you can be holding the plates and try to slam the bell on the table. That's going to add a little bit of fun to it, too. And I'm sure you'll probably knock your cake over at that point. You're so excited about it.
This is probably doing well. I've noticed that games like this, kids games, tend to not do particularly well on Kickstarter themselves.
Yeah.
They usually have a better aftermarket life, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Bandanda?
Yeah, I think. Whoa, Tom. First time, I think you nailed it.
Nailed it.
I'm not surprised at all, Tom.
Like
if you sense
Spanish
surprise
speaker
in my voice, disregard it because I knew you would get it right the first time.
Oh, a little late for that there, Mr. Mike, but all right. So let's say
pronounced Mike.
They actually have the pronunciation here, by the way, Mike.
They do.
So that means a number of birds traveling together. So Bandada is just flock?
Basically.
Yeah, like a well, yeah.
No, I'm asking Z. I wasn't asking you. All right.
Mike speaks Spanish too.
Yeah.
He's lived in Spanish-speaking countries, right, Mike?
Es verdad, Z.
Wow, see? And he used to just look up and watch.
Talk about
flocks
the
of
game.
birds.
We're crying out loud here. We're taking a look at this bird game.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I like it. Looks like a very small kind of a DIY project, but it looks like it's nicely done. I like that it's kind of it feels like a micro game. I think it's essentially a solo game, although it looks like you can play it 2 players, but I'm interested mostly for the solo possibilities here. Look, I think it would be silly to say another bird game because, I don't think there have been that many just because Wingspan is so popular. I don't think there's any issue with that. I like the theme.
But this is my concern, Mike. If you look at these cards here, I don't know how to explain it, but that give 1 black +1, give 1 blue -1, 1 for a yellow 3, 4, 5. I get that we're trying to. Sometimes the theme can obscure the mechanics.
Sure.
But for crying out loud, that's a little too blunt. That looks a little too prototypey. I don't know how to explain it.
There's no graphic design for this game, is what you're saying. They have artwork.
Yeah.
And there is no graphic design. No one, they did not get that far. Now, here, what I suspect with this game, because I'll agree with Mike. At first, I was like, oh, what is this? But then I saw a little gameplay. I understood a little more what's going on. I saw that, this is the big one, that you score every bird that you take every time. So if I take one that scores based on yellow 4s, but then I take another card, and that one allows me to manipulate a yellow, and then I can score that card and the previous one, and so they continue to stack like that. It seems like a cute little game. But I think this is it is funding, right? I think it's funding already. I think this is going to come out to a few people, however people are backing it, and I think it's going to get picked up by someone in 4 years and have some graphic design go into it, and then I'll get it when that happens.
I could see that. I mean, we could see, look, first created. I do get the sense that this is a, kind of a small DIY type of a thing. And while I agree, there's not a lot of graphic design there, I think it looks attractive enough. It is going to be a puzzle game, Tom, so I kind of see what you're getting at with this +1, -1, but I think, the vibe is almost like they're going to be very different.
I'm not saying I mind that there's the +1, -1. I'm talking about just how it's put on the card. It just feels like they're telling you, it feels like that's what I would have written on the prototype. But then on the expansion, I would be flip 2 blues, but it would show a blue die also. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It just looks. I don't know how. That's all I have. I mean, other than that, the game looks fine. It looks like a good game.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I like how it looks.
To me, it looks like a card game very similar to Sentient.
I was going to say Sentient, Z. That's exactly what I was getting at before Tom interrupted me.
So let's go to the next project here. Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars game. So this one here, we just played this one. Actually, didn't we talk about this last week?
I don't think we did, Tom.
Oh, okay, maybe we didn't. But yeah, so we played this one last Friday, and when I first read the rules, I said, hey, this sounds like Terraforming Mars mixed with Race for the Galaxy. And then I played it, and it's Terraforming Mars mixed with Race for the Galaxy.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Now, that is not a negative thing, but it's... Here's the thing, folks. I'm not sure I want to keep playing Terraforming Mars because this feels like Terraforming Mars streamlined.
Yes.
Like, really streamlined. Like, people complained that we took an hour and a half to play it on the thing there, but we were playing slow. We were goofing off. I feel like we could bang this out in 45 minutes.
Also, Bonacore was there. So
yeah, there's that.
40 minutes just for that. I'm with you, Tom. The only reason I'm not being more definitive about it, and look at those three handsome gentlemen. The only reason I'm not being more definitive about what you said, basically getting to the idea that I think I prefer this to the original Terraforming Mars, is just that I haven't played this enough. I only played it the one time.
That's just first impression.
Yeah, but the first impression was stronger for this than my first impression for Terraforming Mars, the board game. So I really did enjoy it. I do think you're right, Tom. I think that especially the more you play it, you could easily play this in under an hour.
Can we at least say the art is better?
There's no question the art is better.
Not only is the art better, the graphic design is good. The questions, and I liked how they did the steel and the iron was a simpler way. This was a solid. I really liked this game. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectations going in. It really did.
I think if you like Race for the Galaxy, you would like it.
Are you a Terraforming Mars fan, Z? Yeah, I'd be interested.
I'm a Race for the Galaxy fan. You know what it is? I think I will like this because I am a Race for the Galaxy fan, and I think Terraforming Mars is fine. It's just not a game that I ever sit around and go, you know what? I feel like playing Terraforming Mars. That's the thing with Terraforming Mars for me. When I play it, I'm like, yeah, okay, I got stuff to think about. I'm over here trying to build this up, do that other thing. I think I'm really going to like this. Actually, my only concern, I wasn't there to play with you guys when you played it, but my only concern is I looked at it a little bit, looked at this a few days ago, and it looks very similar to Race for the Galaxy was actually my worry. I was like, man, they even got phases and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, numbered in Roman numerals. I mean, come on. So that's my only concern. I don't know anything about it. Again, I haven't played. These guys play, so listen to them. But if it's distinct enough from Race for the Galaxy, then I'm in.
Oh, it's definitely distinct. It's probably closer to Terraforming.
I'll wait to be the final judge of that. Thank you very much. How many games have you even played in your whole life?
You quit throwing my noob status at me. Now, here's the other thing, folks. I didn't realize this till after the game. They took out all the take that stuff.
Oh, man.
Oh, is that right?
Terraforming Mars. Well, if you notice, we never did anything negative to each other.
We
not
didn't.
one.
No, that's true. That is true. We did not.
And I'm not opposed to that because that's the one thing about Terraforming Mars. It's not that it's just that I never want to do it. I'm like, well, this card is picking me.
I never picked those cards.
Yeah. So, all right. Savage Frontier. This is a 28 millimeter French and Indian Wars miniatures game. There's not many historical miniature games hit Kickstarter.
No, I was surprised. And these are metal, aren't they? These miniatures. Did I get that correct or no?
Maybe. I like this boat. I love that little boat, that resin boat going down the river. That looks really cool.
That whole scenery they set up looks great.
That does look cool.
That picture looks like it's out of a claymation movie or something I've never seen. You know what I mean? It's neat. I mean, this has a cool theme. Everything seems to be well put together. Look at that. That's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty
Anybody who's a minis player or painter even and likes historical settings, they're going to be all over this. And this is doing pretty well, too.
I do think it's interesting the way the actual campaign is set up. They basically, from what I can tell, they have two pledges. One is everything, and the other is basically like a $1 pledge, and then you just pick. Everything is add-ons. And I wonder why the reason, what the reason is for that. I'm sure there's a
practical, not reason.
That's nice.
It's $2 pledge, by the way.
$2 pledge, and then basically you add on whatever you want.
That's how they get you, the $2 pledge.
That's right.
Or $127 for
for
I don't
everything.
know.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. That's not so bad. 127 for everything. I mean, I don't know how much it's included in there, but that's not terrible.
127 for like everything in a miniatures game? Psh, yes, that's great.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Alrighty. Thank you, Daniel, for your super chat. And he also says he'll match all the super chats in this live stream.
Thank you, Daniel.
Snap.
All right, we'll see what happens there.
Daniel's
All
a
right.
beast. He lives a dangerous existence.
I'm
Let's
gonna
roll.
talk about some interesting things here that aren't. There's a couple projects we're talking about today that are adjacent to board gaming, but I found them interesting. This one here, Let's Roll. It's an immersive and easy to use virtual tabletop. Now, I have to say, I'm not a role player, but this could get me in. Like, if I was at home and you said this is the way it was, and I'll show pictures. I mean, it still looks like it's a lot of work for the game master to set all this up, but it sure looks cool.
It looks amazing, but I will tell you, when I was looking at that video and it was showing the actual coding that's involved. Now, it says that you don't need programming experience, but some of the stuff I saw looked pretty high level. But
I saw
the
that
trade-off
too.
for that is that you get, it looks like there's a whole lot that you can do. This looks like a very robust system, but I'm intimidated, honestly, by what it looks like there's involved.
I'm intimidated just because it's all like the, figuring out how to put it together on top of running the game. But I think it's an amazing looking tool. I mean, I think this looks great.
See that?
And
like right there.
Is this the one that they've had in beta for like a year, they said? There's two that are kind of similar.
I think so.
So, I mean, this looks very, very good. It does. Overall, this week has a lot of really strong projects. I think it's a great crop going on right now. And this one looks like it's bringing something just tasty to the table, man. If you're a role player or you're a DM, especially in these times where you don't necessarily have the opportunity to get together, this is really neat stuff. You can do animated, backgrounds like that. You can do, kind of like clicking and dragging the party around, setting up your own thing. Really neat stuff.
I gotta say, if someone told me they had something like this set up and offered me to join it, maybe a one-shot RPG, I would consider it.
I'm in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Music
the fun thing to do.
And it looks great.
All righty. By the way, thank you, Tommy, and Level Up Gamer from Long Island. And Tommy says it's just about the money. Not quite. All right. Polyhedral Dice Adventure calendars 5 to 7. So once again, I know we've talked about this before. Advent calendars. I'm not sure why they're doing these now. Oh, they're doing it. You can celebrate Halloween with an Advent calendar. That's that Venn diagram has got to be really small.
Yeah, they're going to be fulfilling later on. Yeah.
No, yeah, I get that. Right. Here's the thing. I just can't get behind this. The same reason I can't get behind it from last time. I want to know what dice I'm getting.
Well, there's a couple
the need
issues
to control everything, Tom?
Number one, I don't think the art. To me, these look like 1960s TSR game covers. I don't like the look of this at all. Two, they're really expensive. I mean, these are like $70. That's the thing that gets me. The dice actually looked okay, but I don't know. I don't love the look of the art, and it just they don't strike me as being worth what you're getting, especially since, like you said, Tom, you don't exactly know what you're getting. So I don't know.
They look nostalgic to me, not just. I mean, I get that nostalgic and old can sometimes go hand in hand. I don't dislike the look. I think they're doing it knowingly. You know what I mean? That this looks like an old, RPG book you find in the back of a used bookstore or an old novel. You know what I mean? So I like that aesthetic. I like that vibe to it. I don't know what it is, but I think an Advent calendar and nostalgia can be bedfellows. So I like it.
Okay.
I will say this: I'm not happy with these 4-sided dice here. They show, like it says, if a campfire is rolled on every face, it's a 4. Here's the problem: if you roll 1, 2, or 3, you have to look at the one side of the die.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's rolling and that's facing away from you, you have to rotate it to look at you. That's just 4-sided dice aren't great to begin with, but this company found a way to make them worse. Alrighty. By the way, thank you to Successful Geek, and we have a new member, Frank and Dice.
Wow.
I like
Welcome.
that name.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this next Kickstarter here, Holly's painting so much these days. Well, actually, we got multiple people painting here now at the Holly and Wendy are both painting here at the Dice Tower. But this is a lower pledge because it's just the STL files. Just print all this stuff out yourself. I don't know. I thought it looked kind of cool. That's a nice little station there.
Meh.
Meh. I mean, it's not that expensive.
I don't know.
It's like
I mean, they're selling you it's a lot. I mean, yeah, that's cool. That's a ton of plastic, though. Anybody, I don't know. I feel like at this point, anybody who has a 3D printer and is this much into painting minis, like this is a well-rounded geek, right? I mean, this person has the tools and they are into it. They've got a solution for this at this point. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
Except for 123 people who are just straight slacking and they backed this.
Right. That's right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I felt about it.
All right. Well, let's move on then. Tharos. This is an exciting dual language dice. I don't know why that dual language thing's in there, but anyway, dice bag building.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
and
but
Canadian too, though.
I just don't know why that's like in the description anyway. Dice bag building game in a steampunk universe. Oh, that gets in Z.
Not really.
Actually, this one, well, I like Burns' stuff. This is his new company. He used to work with Amigo, actually. So he started a new company, and he's working with Spielworks, too. This is their first creative, but they're not. Anyhow, I think this looks interesting. I like the way these cards look right here. That region card, I love that vibe a lot. And I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. It looks interesting.
This is an interesting project in that they're being very upfront about the fact that this is not a flashy Kickstarter page. The video is basically, the head of Spielworks talking on a Zoom call with like a digital prototype of the game. And he's really just talking through the game. And they say in here, hey, we're not spending money on the page because we want to pass that on to the game. I don't know that I've got. I honestly, I know this may be a little hypocritical because I complain about other projects. I don't know that bothers me here because this to me is like, hey, here's a kind of a classic Euro for fans of classic Euros. You know exactly kind of what you're getting here. It's not flashy at all, but you probably know already if you're gonna like this game. You know what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I agree with that, Mike. I think you're right. It's a Spielworks game. I mean, it's going to be a heavy game. It's going to have, it's a look. It's a certain look and feel that if you are familiar with games from this company or just heavy Euro games in general, you are aware of. That's, I think, why I'm not really that excited about it, Tom. I think this might be a little bit outside of my usual comfort zone. And the theme, while it sounds interesting, isn't doing it visually for me. You know what I mean?
I have high hopes for this one. I hope I'll like it. That's
yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty. Thank you, Matt. Super chat, Matt.
Super chat, Matt.
Well, I didn't mean Matt and Nero. All right, design Shogi. Now, is this designed by the same company that just did that one we just got? I forgot to look that up.
Oh, I don't think so because that was like one. Maybe it is, Tom. I don't know. I don't see it there. I will tell you this. This is my favorite. It is. You're right. This is my favorite video of the week. And the reason why is something I can't replicate here.
Why. I think I know why. I think
it's because with the sound, there are these like ceramic pieces on a ceramic board. And one of the two players, every time he would move a piece, would like pick it up 4 feet off and slam it down to make sure that you heard that ceramic sound. It's like the other guy would just slide a piece. This guy would pick it up and just slam it on that thing every time. I really enjoyed that.
You could definitely tell one of the two guys was trying to sell the game and the other guy was playing. Because, yes,
Right.
the person sitting closer to the camera is making sure these are tactile pieces with a nice clink. So he's like, black, black. And then he has to, like, spend the next few seconds fixing all the pieces that just moved.
Right.
I loved it. I thought it was a great video.
Okay, so I hate it, that last game. I didn't like it at all that he made.
Yeah.
But this is an actual game. It's shogi.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And it shows you how the pieces move on them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Especially since the original game was based off of kanji, right? And if you didn't understand kanji, you're not going to, I mean, this is a really neat idea for making a game accessible to people that may not have tried it otherwise.
Maybe I'll back this one.
This looks
The thing is,
cool.
ceramic, though, bugs me a little bit because it's so fragile.
Well, did you see, though, you can get, and this may not be of interest to you, but I like that they made it an option. There's a pledge for just stickers. So if you have a regular shogi set, you could just put the stickers. I know, but I'm saying it's a nice, if you don't want the ceramic and you've already got maybe wood tiles, you can just use the stickers.
I might get this pop shogi, this little 3x3 one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I really like, this guy is definitely Kickstarter, right? He makes these little projects, they're passion, and they look good. I didn't like the last game, but it sure looked good.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's very unique, isn't it? It's
the
fact that you could tell it was the same person, or you suspected it was from the look of the game, that says something, and that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, before we go any farther, folks, we got a few contributors, so we'll jump over to them, and then we'll be back to look at some more Kickstarter projects. Here we go.
Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Crowdsurfing Lanyap. That's right, I'm bringing you projects that won't break your budget, but throw in a little something extra. Here's what I'm checking out this week. Gift of Tulips is a 15-minute small box game from one of our favorite board game companies, Weird Giraffe Games. It's designed by Sarah Perry and plays from 2 to 6 players in about 15 minutes. What's it about? Flowers, flowers, and more flowers. It's springtime in Holland, and the tulip market is in full swing. Players are going to try to build a beautiful bouquet of gorgeous tulips in 4 different colors. You'll score points each time you keep certain tulips in your bouquet, or even more if you give them away. Plus, there's majority scoring at the end of the game when the deck of tulips is completely gone and the person with the most tulips of each type gets the most points. The twist? Each of the tulip types will be placed under a different market card. Some are worth more points and some are worth no points, and players can control where those tulip cards go by placing more and more of that exact tulip under the market card instead of scoring them in their own tableau. Sounds juicy? It is. The decision to either keep a great number 3 or number 4 tulip card or to put it in your market and zoom your favorite tulip from worst to first to score you big points at the end is so delicious. The game has some gorgeous artwork and takes just a minute or two to teach. It's in that 15 minutes or less vein of some of our favorite classic games like No Thanks or For Sale, and fits right into your game bag for any game night with friends and family. Hey, we've been limited to small group plays due to COVID, but I can't wait for game nights to begin again because this is going to make the perfect end of the night game at the game store. Now, Weird Giraffe was nice enough to send us a preview copy, so the final artwork and components will be revealed during the Kickstarter campaign. Hey, that's Gift of Tulips from designer Sarah Perry and Weird Giraffe Games. It's out on Kickstarter right now. Easy to teach, only takes 15 to 20 minutes, and it's got some cool twists on the area majority mechanic with that festival majority scoring. Plus, you really have to think about that giving mechanic and how you're going to score your points. Until next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be building our forces, trying to crush the oncoming monsters. And we're going to be putting away some grain in order to avoid famine. All right, let's jump in and take a look. And first up, we have Meeples and Monsters. This is a bag building game while you're building up your wooden meeples in order to take out the wooden monsters. There's some fun play on the theme there as these monsters come in and try to attack the city. Also, you have different locations every game that can really change up how you play. Things that will bolster your heroes and give them more power, different types of heroes, things like that. But you're going to be trying to gather heroes for your bag. You've got mages, you've got knights, you've got clerics and warriors, along with some specialty heroes to aid you along the way. And then we have Fortune and Famine. Now, this game is all about avoiding famine, really, but you're using your workers of the kingdom, getting new types, you're getting wizards and all kinds of different things in order to get more grain and coin in order to store enough that you can have the most at the end of the game. But you also have to protect it by storing it in bags and not just leaving it out to grow. So there's an interesting choice here as you manage what you're going to do with the resources and when. Because when that famine card hits, you're going to lose a ton of your exposed grain. So it really depends on how you're managing those resources and what type of workers you currently have in play. So, my pick of the week. Well, it has to go to Meeples and Monsters. I mean, even the production level of the prototype is pretty high. I can't wait to see the final version, and I love all the variants in the game and just going after new heroes to build in your bag. Really fun. Now, there's also quests. The quests add a whole nother element to the game. You've got quests for end of game, you've got instant quests that give you abilities and things like that, and ongoing abilities. So, lots of neat things about this one. Did you see that? All right, folks, if any of these games look like they might be of interest to you, please go check out our full preview. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table. I'm out of here.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game, seeking crowdfunding. Maybe I have a fear of missing out on it, maybe you do too. We take a look together. Now, based on what's behind me, you probably already know what I'm looking at, and it's a Kickstarter that if you have a fear of missing out on, you only got like 2 more days to get in on this. So we're looking at Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, or as I like to call it, Terraforming Mars Light Adjacent, because it's not Terraforming Mars Light. This is Terraforming Mars. But I did something when I played this that I have never said with a card version of a game. Why would I pull this out again? And honestly, I mean it. I was talking with Jeremy Howard about it too, and we were like, I can't see a reason why I would pull that out over this. I enjoyed this so much more. I love the simultaneous play. I love the picking what I'm going to do from the round while my opponents are picking, and I can see what they picked last round, and I can adapt to what they're doing. I love that they went ahead with dual layer boards right out the gate instead of the mess boards on the original. Don't get me wrong, the original Terraforming Mars, fantastic game, and I'll continue to play it until I have a final version of this. But if you love Terraforming Mars, you will love this more. I love this more. So if it's something that interests you, you should go check out their Kickstarter page. The artwork has been upgraded, and I have this artwork. I'm secretly hoping that if I were to play that they give me some pack that upgrades that artwork. But go check out this one. This is a high FOMO. This absolutely does replace the original game for me, and I'm not going to apologize about that. The cooperative 2-player mode is fantastic. The solo mode is fantastic. This is fantastic. All right, I'll see you folks next week.
All right. Well, here's a name for you folks. Kickards.
It's a name.
GOal.
Kickards GOal.
I have no idea. It's a terrible title, and they should have rethought that the first day.
Kickards. Is it Kickards or Kickards? You know they're going to have to spell it every time you say it to somebody. We have a new game called Kickards. It's spelled Kickards. Anyhow, it's a soccer game, a football game. There is not a shortage of these games in the world, and yet the percentage of them that are good is immensely small. So I hope this is good. I like the percentages on the side. That makes me feel happy. But I don't know.
I don't think those mean anything. Do those mean anything? I doubt it.
I think they are supposed to. I don't know. I'm a little confused by it. I mean, I guess the way that it looks like it's presented is that they want you to be able to play it like on an actual soccer pitch, so that each player just has a deck of cards and you're showing. Yeah. That
it's
gimmick
crazy.
is one.
Yeah, it's like a card game. It's a normal card
Right.
game you can play at the table and roll dice,
Right.
or
Right.
you can get rid of the dice and actually kick soccer balls or footballs into the. I mean, like this is, and then the guy. It's hilarious. Is each guy's holding a deck of cards. And he's
Right.
like, you flip an action card, then an event, and the guy reaches into his like sweater pocket and brings out another deck, and they draw an event. And then he puts it back in. It's like, are you kidding? I mean,
no one's doing this. I mean,
nobody, right?
What a stretch!
And if you get this game, you might get enough people together to do it once.
Right.
You know what I mean? You would do it once as a gimmick, and you'll never do it again.
Right. I guess you still have to roll one die. That's why they have that giant foam die. So come on.
You kick that die too. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I don't see this at all. I mean, I know that football is
the game
a massively popular sport, and I think it's underrepresented in board gaming. So I'd like to see a really good football, soccer, but this doesn't look to be it.
All right. So now let's jump to Block and Key, which for at first I was like, is this Lock and Key or it's Block and Key?
And well, the original title was Blockards. They changed it.
Then it went to Blockheads, but that didn't sound right.
I'm sorry. That should not be that funny. All right. This board looks very similar to the Holy board that we had played earlier.
Yeah.
It's from Connor McCooey, who is dying to go back to conventions so he can hug people.
That's true.
He's a lovely man. A lovely man.
The strong. This looks interesting to me, actually.
This looks very cool to me. And I'm not always a huge fan of these kind of visual perspective games, but this one does look appealing to me.
Yeah, this looks neat, man. They really nailed the vibe with that video too.
Yeah,
that video is a very well put together show of both the theme that they're going for and kind of the the mystical discover a temple and find out its secrets, and it does a good job of kind of teaching you what's going on as well. It did a really good job of nailing both of those things. This looks cool. I think for a few people that really like visual puzzles, this is gonna be a really neat game. It definitely looks quite well put together.
It does, and the publisher Inside Up has kind of built a track record of fulfilling on their projects and not being late and usually no issues. They get their stuff done. This looks like a more ambitious project maybe than some of the others, although Summit was a pretty big, game with a lot of components. So I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful for this. I think it looks interesting.
All right. By the way, Daniel Kramer, I missed this earlier. He's still matching people's super chats, and he said to buy Z something pretty.
Well,
I believe there's like a lipstick and an animal quote. So anyway,
Kickards. You want some Kickards, Z?
No, I'm good.
Zombicide.
I've already had lunch.
Undead or Alive. Now I'm actually curious where this one lies in. I'm gonna actually look it up real quick.
In the grave. Ah!
No, like I'm curious how the past Zombicides have done. So let's go look at them. We have Night of the Living Dead here. Second edition. Before that, the last Zombicide was Invader. And then before that, Green Horde. We'll just take a look at those. So this one made 430. Night of the Living Dead did not make a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And
430. What do you mean 430? Like
430,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Then second edition made 3.4 million. Invader made 3.3 million, and Green Horde made 5 million. I remember that one was really big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this one's at about 2 million. It has a week left, so maybe this will hit the same as the other 3 million.
Yeah, that sounds maybe right.
I do wonder,
it's not going to be Green Horde money though.
No.
Is there a limit to like theming with zombies. I mean, I get there's definitely a lot of people who like the Old West and horror mixed together, for sure. But
I love this combination. I would be all over this, I'll be honest, if I didn't already have one of the Zombicide games. I have Black Plague. And if there was a little more variety with these characters. Oh my goodness. The unlockables, the stretch goals, 90% of them are an extra character. Like one survivor. But they don't have a ton of personality, because how different can you make them? They're they're characters that would have been around at this time in this setting. Black Plague got away with having somebody be a dwarf and a goblin and a thing and a thing. That's problematic. I will say I think they fixed, or it looks fixed, one of the big issues I have with Zombicide, Black Plague, and many of the other ones, and that's the sound issue. The stupid, weapons make noise, so you have, a ton of these noise counters, and you always forget to check them. You always forget to put one out. This fixes that with a much simplified mechanism from the sounds of it. That is awesome.
I think I might like this theme better than any of the other themes, except for I like the space theme. But my concern is, multiple times, this one's just the same thing with a different coat of paint on it.
That's what I'm getting at. I like the theme a lot, but I don't know that Zombicide as a system is robust enough to be the scaffolding for 17 different games. It's just
people are buying them, so there's that.
They're buying the minis, Tom. They're buying the minis. The games, I don't know. They're gonna have to start doing something a little bit more different. Well, I say this, and they're still doing $3 million per. So apparently they haven't hit the bottom of the well yet, but I keep waiting.
Well, look at that, a zombie buffalo. That's the first zombie buffalo I've ever seen.
Okay, and then when 85 boxes show up and you are completely overwhelmed by all this stuff,
Mike, have I ever complained about 85 boxes of a Kickstarter to your face today?
Yes.
Yes,
I agree that this is with Tom, that this is my favorite setting of. Well, you said you like space more than this one, Tom. I like this one more than all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I really, really like Western meets supernatural stuff.
Right.
It's absolutely one of my favorite styles or settings or whatever. Post-apocalyptic probably is one. Western meets horror stuff is probably two. Really. I mean, I like it that much. So this is right up my alley. But no, I've already got the other Zombicide and a bunch of stuff for it. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it looks good either way. And I will say, I like this new thing that Kickstarters are doing with this. We're releasing a new thing every day.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like that concept. That gets people coming back and looking at the Kickstarter. And you don't have to say, all right, I'm going to up my pledge just to reach a stretch goal and then out.
Yeah.
I call it the WandaVision effect.
Ooh.
Keep me on the hook every day coming back.
I got 2 more days to wait on that, Z. All right.
Come on.
Zentiles, a visual reflection journal.
Yeah.
So this one here, I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, this is board game adjacent, like we were saying earlier. This is. Go ahead, Z.
No, go ahead. You were on a roll.
Was I? Oh, wow. I didn't even know I was on a roll. I was just saying this doesn't really come off as a board game. This is to me like some of the other projects we've covered, which is really, it's more about kind of creating, ways to reflect and think about things and using kind of the gamification model to, spur you on to deeper thinking, maybe conversations, maybe self-reflection. So it's not really a game in the classical sense of the term, right?
Right, and that's kind of what I was going to say. This reminds me of a few things we've looked at. We've looked at the most recent I can remember is the one that had tiles that were laser cut, and you'd build this mind map laser thing with emotion words on them. It was okay. So this is that. There's been previous ones, which was just a deck of cards about conversation starters and emotions and all of that stuff, understanding and bringing forth your deepest feelings. That's what this kind of seems to me. Also kind of looks like a calendar because it says Monday through Sunday, and you put, I guess, today I felt happy, and then you take a picture of it. I don't know what that part's about. The calendar thing seems weird.
The whole calendar, then we need to talk. All righty. All right, now we got another board game adjacent thing, and this one is making money out the wazoo. And this is Dungeon Alchemist.
This looks great.
Of course, it's funny I said it's making money out the wazoo when I just looked at the... I got to go back real quick and correct myself with the Zombicide thing. That is doing really well. It's almost at towards. I don't want to. I don't like come down and be like, I can't believe that, because I was just curious where it landed in the other project. It's doing extremely well. 2 million is nothing to scoff at. Anyway,
it's a disappointment. I would say it's a disappointment.
This one looks really cool, and making this map, and I play it, but I think I like the other program better. Except this one you can print it out, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, to me it's two different things. I mean, they're both usability, kind of programs, but this one is still to be used on the desktop, where the other one is a virtual space you're creating.
Right. I think this looks amazing. This looks way more, assuming that what they're showing us in their videos is not simulated, that is actually what this will look like. This looks extremely sharp, like above and beyond the other app. The other app is a few people who came together, has that feel of like, hey, we're going to pool our resources. You've got some coding experience,
right?
You know music, and so we're going to pool our resources together, us friends, and do this thing that people can share, jump into tabletop. This looks pro. This, you click a room, you click and drag, and blam, it populates a room with items. That's insane. If that's how that works, this is mind-blowing stuff. And then you can click and drag it and change it and resize it. This looks awesome.
It does look cool.
We should get RPGs, guys. All right. Anyhow, moving on to the next one. Chamber of Wonders. So this one here, it's kind of
an RPG.
No, it's not RPG. I don't think.
I'm not interested. I'm into RPGs now.
Oh, you got me confused here for a second. It's a board game. This is like, I don't know. This has a unique theme here. It's from the same guy who designed Potion Explosion. But also one of the designers designed Gods. So keep that in mind too. I don't know.
Boy, I don't know what to think about this one, Tom.
It almost
Some aspects of it are appealing, but other aspects of it look almost, I don't know. I don't know. I can't put my finger on this one.
I like it. My only concern is these pictures are making it look like it's not high quality, the components.
Yeah.
It does look that way, which is weird because I just reviewed a game from Ludus Magnus. Ludus Magnus Studio.
Right.
I just reviewed Black Rose Wars. It actually just posted about an hour and a half ago. Their component quality is quite high, very high. I cannot vouch for how good this rule book will be. But the component quality, I think, will be good. But
I agree. I'm
with
saying
you.
There's some doesn't look good in the pictures for whatever reason.
I agree with something that gives me this is an old reprint of something. I'm getting that feel.
But the one thing that this thing advertised that is so appealing to me, and I don't know that I've found a game that really does it well, though you two, with your vast encyclopedic knowledge of board games, can probably tell me right away, is it makes it sound like each of these little cardboard constructs are a different mini game. And I love the idea of mini games within a larger game, kind of like that WarioWare type of a thing. I can't think of a game that's done that really well, but I love the idea of it. And that's kind of what this is advertising itself as.
Wasn't I just telling you about a game that does that, Z? I feel like I just was talking to you about that. Whoops.
Come on, let's break out that encyclopedic knowledge. I want
Tom.
that game.
I don't know. The only one I can think of is the one from Engelstein.
Yeah, I just told you about one, and I said it had a bunch of little games, but we were doing them cooperatively, so it didn't bother me. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, this one looks interesting to me. At least I'm cautiously optimistic.
Right.
All right, folks. We started with cakes, and we're ending with Candy Wars.
Pew, 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 Candy Wars.
Three-dimensional one with miniatures and Samuel Jackson. Wait, did it get canceled? Oh, never mind.
Oh, it got canceled. Okay.
Wait,
Man, I don't think they were funding enough.
In the past. It was canceled in 1969.
I think the Candy Wars were the Time Wars all along, and they were hiding that from us in the wars of 1969.
I wonder why this didn't succeed, actually.
This looked great. If we would have talked about this, and I guess we are a little bit, this looks really good.
Yeah. I like the idea of it. I find it humorous.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it was doing well enough, I guess. I don't know.
It
It'll be back.
The extra G in sugar.
Alrighty, folks.
I don't know.
Well, I am now sticking in chat our a poll, so you can vote on which of the different games. I didn't put them all in there, but I put the ones in that were funding decently. So pick your favorite, and we'll give the People Choice Award. While we're waiting for that poll for you to vote on that poll, let's take a look at some non-gaming stuff we found. This one is not going to fund, but
two backers, Tom. Hey, look, there's 25 days to go. I'm not saying this is dead yet. I think they've got a shot. It's a portable
dining apron, except later on in that in the thumbnail here, it says it's a potable dining apron, which is a completely different thing. Yeah. Which means when you're done, you eat it.
No, you drink it.
You drink it.
Well, eat, drink. This, what would you guys think if we went out to eat and I was like, hang on, guys, pull out my apron,
pull out of my wallet.
Like open up your jacket and pull this out. Wow.
Let me get my apron.
They make it look so cool. Look at this guy pulling that out like a hanky out of his back pocket.
Yes.
By the way, I'm a person who carries a hanky. I mean, I literally have one right here. I'm a hanky man. Okay. This looks dumb. This looks really dumb. I mean, come on.
What we need to do is you need to pull a Brian Drake and do a sleight of hand and go like this. And then just start pulling your apron out of your hand like this.
Yeah, it works.
Now that would be something. Incorporate it into magic.
Now we have the VacDaddy.
VacDaddy.
This is great.
Who's your daddy? VacDaddy. That's who.
Look at this. Look at this setup. Straight infomercial.
He literally just took an infomercial. I mean, this is at some boat show right here. This is filmed.
So I love this. I mean, because it's obviously a very useful thing. I mean, if you have a pool. Sure. But I love this.
Who's your VacDaddy?
Oh my God.
There's nothing okay about that.
I'm glad he's succeeding, though. You know, this is that's cool for him. You know, he put his effort into it.
Like, this guy's going all in on this. The truck has the vinyl decals. Like, he's all in, man. He's making it happen. Pretty cool.
No one taught you how to vacuum a carpet. Did really no one ever teach you to vacuum a carpet? Do we all just come out of the womb knowing how to vacuum a carpet? I don't know that that's a true statement.
I knew how to vacuum a carpet before I knew what a vacuum was.
No, I had to teach every single one of my kids how to vacuum. You think it would be an obvious thing. It is not.
It is not obvious.
All right. Last
vacuuming a pool
is Smell Inspector. Now this one's making a lot of money here.
Yeah.
Enos Developers Kit End User Gadget. Do you want your apps to have smell applications?
Mm-hmm. I do. Especially at work. In the workplace.
Correct.
I want my computer to be able to smell the same things I smell.
Just every now and then the computer interrupts you with a pop-up on the side that says, "Ooh, you nasty." I'm like, oh.
Shutting down in 5, 4, 3.
I can't
Alt delete. This looks there's obviously all the funny jokes we can make about what a thing that can smell and then translate that to a computer. Having said that, the more I watch of the video and them showing what they could do on the applications and whatnot, I thought this is pretty insane stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Oh, it's cool. I thought it was funny but cool.
Yeah,
this guy, the guy who's talking about how he finally cracked this, and got it down thanks to nanotechnology, and he was able to get it on this tiny little chip. I kept thinking, in like 10 years, this dude is gonna solve some world crisis. I can kind of tell. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but there's gonna be some smell-related, cataclysm, and this cat is gonna pop out of a groundhog hole and fix it. I can feel it.
He'll be wearing a portable apron at the time.
Wasn't this already talked about in Futurama? Wasn't there a smelloscope?
This dude invented the smelloscope. That's right. You able to smell distant planets.
I love that episode. All right, Mike, what's your pick of the week?
Well, I considered the Terraforming Mars card game because we played it and I liked it, but I think I'm going to go with Block and Key. That's a really cool looking project to me. I'm very intrigued by how this might play out, and so that's my pick of the week. I'm really interested in this one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is what I'm looking forward to playing, and like you said, he has a good record, so
yeah.
Cool. All right, Z, what about you?
There are a lot of cool looking games this week. I mean, that Block and Key one, Zombicide, is again fine. Even the little bird one looks cool, but I'm actually going with that Dungeon Alchemist thing.
Ooh.
The AI powered map making software for RPGs. I mean, that just seems so different to me. I love the fact that they're doing extremely well. There's that. I mean, 1.6 million that's mind blowing stuff. But man, this looks so well put together. It's so neat. I don't know. It just seems like a tool you want to have in your bag if you are, a game master or dungeon master.
Right.
All righty. Well, then I'm going to be a little bit more boring, I think, and I'm going to pick Ares Project, or Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition. Sorry.
Yes.
This just hit me right. Yes, it's derivative of 2 other games, but I didn't care. I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised this hasn't made more. But you know what? I think one of the reasons is it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
It's
$40.
$40. And I felt like we saw the final version of the game here. Yeah. That felt decent for $40.
No, that's a very reasonable price for what we saw. Because we saw a production copy, right? It was, that's very fair price.
And you can't complain here when you have 11,300 backers. That is a lot of people. That's actually, that's just for that. Then there's the 356, 287.
Keep
there's
going.
A lot of people.
Keep going. I want it all, Tom. Keep going.
213.
Is there one below that?
No, this is getting everything for Terraforming Mars.
I want the
Terraforming Mars and everything else.
Of that one. Yes. I want the group pledge for that one.
Group pledge. All right. I have not looked at the thing. What do you think the people chose?
Kickards.
Kickards?
I think either Terraforming Mars or Zombicide.
Yeah, it has to be one of those 2.
All right, let's look. Oh, no votes at all. Let's refresh the page. There we go.
Yeah.
You're right. Wow, Terraforming Mars won by a landslide there.
Half the votes.
Yep.
Well, just shy. And you're right. Zombicide, but hey, Dungeon Alchemist, Z, that was 3rd.
Yeah.
And Block and Key. So we were with the people mostly. We got top 4. But there's people. Did anyone pick Kickards? 5 people.
Woo!
Well, there you go. So I got to go up here. So Roy can put up his People's Choice. People's Crowdfunding Pick of the Week. All righty, cool. All right, folks, that's our last live thing for today. We'll be back tomorrow morning with Board Game Breakfast. But, of course, reviews and other things are going up. Thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to all the nice people who did super chats. That was kind of cool. And
yes, thank you.
I hope you check out these Kickstarter projects. Of course, do your own research before backing them. Everything we say is just our opinion, and who knows. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Mike Delisio.
Keep kickarding.